if you would. So, you know, this show is famous for making some strange bedfellows, some people who don't normally agree. I think you two guys, Christopher, Larry, probably agree on Bill Clinton being evil, and you have a lot of support lately, because I've read just in the last few days, somehow it got to the media, oh, wait, that's right, Bill Clinton. We forgot, the original evildoer. I'm reading a lot of things about how it's really Bill Clinton's fault, because when he was in office, he should have gotten bin Laden, and you know what? Nobody should be exonerated from that. We all are guilty. We all had terrorism go off on our watch, and we all hit the snooze alarm. That's the media, that's the people, that's Bill Clinton, but it's also Congress. And every time I read this stuff about Bill Clinton, who I know worked real hard on trying to get bin Laden, I think, yeah, but maybe he was distracted because a lot of people in this country and in Congress were so interested in his penis.
You said penis.
Well, I said penis. You can say penis. You can say penis.
His show.
When he says penis, he holds his hands like this far apart.
He's talking.
Well done.
He's talking from personal experience.
I get.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
It's just a knee jerk.
Right. So you called us here to blame us. That's the bottom line.
I did call you exactly.
Christopher and I are guilty for
You
terrorism.
are. You actually are.
Because we kept him preoccupied.
And the country's
Well,
preoccupied.
With his
Right.
thing.
Now, the bottom line here, Bill, is
Johnson.
I actually agree with you. I agree with you that everybody's guilty. Congress, Clinton, the Republicans, the Democrats, everybody was telling the American people, no threat, foreign or domestic, isn't it great, vote for me, it's a nice world. But the bottom line is that we had one crime committed after another. We had national security violations during the Clinton administration. We had Capitol Hill that wasn't doing its job, turning over the rocks. And they all have blood on their hands. I agree with you. What happened? 4,000 people dead. Government didn't do its job. INS didn't do its job. The Justice Department didn't do its job. We represent an FBI client.
Except that when Bill Clinton actually did fire back at bin Laden, you all said, he's just trying to distract us from his penis.
Because?
We were never into his penis, Bill.
Because? Very cheap.
No, really, I was never into Monica Lewinsky.
Very cheap applause. This is the first time I've been on your show when you haven't hired some coke-sodden rock star to tell me that I'm obsessed with Clinton. Now it seems to me you're the obsessed one. When Mr. Clinton fired,
I was a coke-sodden rock star.
When Mr. Clinton fired the cruise missiles at Sudan, at Khartoum, he destroyed the only pharmaceutical factory in Sudan.
Right.
Put Sudan back many years. He made bin Laden look good, not an easy task. He fired another cruise missile at Pakistan, hit the wrong target, but the Pakistanis were so angry, they let go the people who they'd held for the blowing up of the US embassies in Africa. The whole thing's been minutely investigated. It was clearly a wag-the-dog operation. It took place in the week Mr. Lewinsky went back to the grand jury.
Chris, how can he win? If he does it, it's wag the dog. If he doesn't do it, he's negligent.
Because after that, he dropped the whole subject. He dropped the whole subject.
No, he didn't.
If you're going to wag the dog, you wag it well. You actually take out the cancer. The cancer grew during those years.
Spank that monkey.
But what about the fact that a lot of the people who were persecuting him, the impeachment managers, were on all sorts
What's
of...
with the quotes here?
Well, because they didn't manage it very well, did they?
The problem, Bill, is they didn't remove him. They left him there, and he was negligent. He was having oral sex as bin Laden was building up this terrorist threat. What was he doing there? The Congress was equally as guilty.
Bin Laden was
We're
having
not
oral
looking
sex?
into what happened.
No, Clinton. Remember
Bin
Clinton?
Laden, we don't know about whether he's had oral sex or
Well,
not.
with bin Laden, we know.
Well, I wasn't referring to bin Laden.
Yes, as reported by the tabloids. Small penis, that's why he hates America.
Is the premise of your question, though, that if they hadn't been going after Clinton that way, if they hadn't done that Bill Clinton would have taken out Osama bin Laden, that he would have built up the armed forces, he would have built up the CIA, then what is the premise?
Well, kept his oath of office. He swears the oath of office whatever happens, okay? And that involves defending the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. There is no excuse for not doing that job. There is no excuse for not doing that job, and he flatly refused to do it.
And he will go down as the worst president.
You said go down in relation to...
That was not the way it works.
He's going to go down
He will go down as the worst president in American history. The legacy that he has left is malignant cancer.
Peace and
that's threatening to
prosperity.
destroy
God help us from that again.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
Where's the prosperity?
Where's the prosperity? I don't know. He left office and it seemed to disappear, Larry.
And what about the peace? What about the peace?
The peace, again, he's gone, it's gone. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Yeah, I will. That's nuts. That's a fatuous thing to say.
Why?
He's gone and suddenly the Bin Laden network attacks the United States.
No. You asked me about peace.
I did.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying is that, you know, when he was in office, we had a pretty good deal going on. I'm not saying that September 11th wouldn't have happened, but I'm telling you something. When President Bush came in office, the whole tone changed. It was his directive to the Middle East was, you know what, you guys kill each other. I'll be on the ranch. And you know what? I don't think that message really goes well in that part of the world. At least Bill Clinton tried to make peace, and they appreciated that.
It's not because of Israel, and it's not because...
It's not because of Israel?
Not because of Israel. That's the pretext.
Oh, my God.
They won an Islamic revolution worldwide. Islamic revolution, they've declared war not just against Jews, but against Christians everywhere. And that's just the excuse. So you can settle the Palestinian problem, and it won't stop Bin Laden. It won't stop the radical Arabs and Islamic people. They're going to continue on. They want us destroyed. They want us dead. But I agree with you again. Well, again, the entire government failed to do its job, from the Federal Aviation Administration to the Immigration and Naturalization Service to the FBI. They were lying to the American people. And this cancer grew, and now we're in a fatal state. We have.
You have.
You've been getting our press release.
If Al Gore were president on September 11th, what would have happened, in your opinion?
Oh, I'm sure he would have done the same thing.
Al Qaeda would have done the same thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
give it up.
Well, I'm not.
Give it up. Stop being obsessed with it.
I'm not.
Let go.
I'm obsessed with it. I'm not obsessed with it.
Let go.
No, it's only because I've been reading so many reports in the last few days about how Bill Clinton let us down. Bill Clinton should have done this. Bill Clinton should have done that. And when I read it, I think to myself, you know what? It wasn't just Bill Clinton. A lot of the people who were on committees about our national security were so obsessed with Bill Clinton and yes, this.
But that was the only news you ever saw. That's all you ever saw for years.
Even without the Clinton scandals, they wouldn't have done anything, you see, because they want to sell their services. They want to say, the world is great. The country is great. Vote for me. And all the while, this problem was brewing.
The speech that Clinton gave on the day he destroyed the only pharmaceutical factory in Sudan, the speech he gave that night was exactly the same as the speech Michael Douglas gives in The American President. It was a woo-woo moment. It was a guy who was seriously up against it. Mr. Lewinsky's going back to the grand jury. He hits the wrong target in Sudan. He kills the wrong people. He lets Bin Laden look good. He gets people who we've been looking for a long time released by governments who are so angry that they were... And then he never mentioned the Al-Qaeda network ever again, and I'm sorry, he's commander-in-chief. He's a constitutional responsibility. There is no excuse for him.
It's interesting you say that I'm obsessed, but he personally hit the wrong target. Now, the other day, we had a friendly fire accident. But I don't see you going, you know, President Bush killed 3 of our men the other day.
No, but I wouldn't
He hit the wrong target.
No, really.
Well, that's totally different.
It's totally different.
Well, it's not the same analogy.
Hold your applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. I don't deserve it. Mr. Bush can't direct every missile in Afghanistan. Mr. Clinton picked that target personally, and he overruled the Joint Chiefs and the CIA and the FBI to hit that target in Sudan.
And not only that, Bill,
it's all in my strangely neglected. It's all in my strangely neglected book.
A liberal publication. Washington Post, a liberal publication, reported that Clinton had the ability to make a deal with the Sudan to get Bin Laden back in 1997 and just looked the other way. Did nothing about it.
Wasn't interested.
I find that hard to believe.
And there was no fundraising to be done either.
But can't we all agree? Well, who donated to Hillary Clinton's campaigns in New York?
Whereas with his peace negotiations, as you call them.
That's right. They put him in the White House.
Yeah, but with
Bin Laden.
With his peace negotiations in Israel, as you call them, peace negotiations, it turned out that there was a way of raising money from Mark Rich.
But let me tell you something else. Let me say something else.
So you're saying that Bill Clinton got money from the terrorists, and that's why he didn't go after Bin Laden, and I'm obsessed?
Well, there's an aspect.
You brought it up. You brought it up.
These politicians were getting money from all of them, from all of these interests to some extent. And they're compromised, and they didn't do their job. And let me tell you another thing, and I think you'll be surprised to hear this. Bush comes into power January 20th, the year 2001. A lot of people voted for him because they wanted him to turn the rocks over, to immediately look at the national security problems, to look at terrorism. For 8 months, this administration did nothing. It's nowhere near the culpability of the Clinton administration that was for 8 years. But no one did anything until 4,000 people got killed on September 11th. It's time that people started questioning the government, not being yes men, but asking that this government do its job, because that, under the Constitution, is their primary job, to protect us.
Okay. Here. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, let's talk a little bit about the military tribunal situation, which has certainly inflamed this nation as much as anything could, considering the nation is not paying any attention. The people who are paying attention, some of them are saying that this military tribunal idea of the president, which was executed by executive order, I mean, nobody had to vote on this, is not the way we should go about it, because we are a democracy and we should uphold the very principles that we are trying to defend. Others say that if you let the terrorists be tried, Mitch McConnell, a senator, said it has the potential of the O.J. trial. In other words, if you got bin Laden back here and tried him in a regular court, he said, is the potential of the O.J. trial completely...
If your turban doesn't fit, you must acquit.
I could have said that. I could have said that. Complete with
already, I'm beginning to think maybe he didn't do it.
Yeah, right. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Can I just say I'm in favor of it for certain people, and one of those would be Geraldo.
No, we can do that. Tried in front of a military tribunal.
Right.
Yeah, if we can do that, then I don't care what we do to him.
He's foreign and he's carrying a gun.
I had to show my ID maybe 5 times to fly here. The people who got on the planes on the 11th didn't have to show their ID but once, and they didn't even disguise their IDs to get on the planes, even though 5 of them were on the terrorism so-called watch list. No one in our national security system, which is paid billions of dollars, no one has offered to resign, and no one's been fired. And after that performance, they say, well, let's hurry past that, and why don't you give us supreme power now, so we can do what we like. It doesn't work for me. I think Ashcroft should be impeached, as a matter of fact. The Constitution is much more important than the Bush administration. It's much more important than the Justice Department.
So are you saying that our system works and that they will find, 12 jurors that are of their peer
I've
group?
spoken to a lot of prosecutors in Washington, where it was my hometown. None of them says this would be a tough case to win on. It would be a pretty easy, but we should not prejudge it.
Well,
I don't think that Mr.
But on the other hand, on the other hand, what we're dealing with...
Let's see. But if Mr. bin Laden walks, where's he going to walk to? He's not going to be playing golf in Miami.
First of all,
excuse me. No. That's the first thing. The second thing is this: the judge in Spain, Judge Balthazar Garzon, one of the most distinguished judges in Europe, has just done what the FBI and the CIA can't do. He's arrested 8 members of Al Qaeda. Suspected members, let's say, but they look pretty convincing to me. He's holding them. This is the guy who issued the warrant for Pinochet. He's not a soft-on-crime guy. He's one of the great international jurists of our time. And he says, I cannot deliver them. I can't extradite them.
Isn't the real issue...
I can't extradite them from Spain to a Banana Republic tribunal that has secret evidence, that can convict people in secret, that doesn't allow them a lawyer, and that can execute them.
Okay.
Without making an announcement.
Let me ask you
I'm
this.
sorry, we can't deliver... So it's positively...
Chris?
The reason why I say Ashcroft should be impeached is this.
Chris?
He's positively impeding the hunt for the people who want to kill you.
First of all, it's not Ashcroft's policy. He's just implementing
Bush's
the policy. But, I'm torn too, Bill. I'm a lawyer. I believe in civil rights. But these are war criminals that we're dealing with. I mean, they're criminals. These are not American citizens. They're people that want to see us dead. And what is the answer? To put them in front of a firing squad? I think a military tribunal is ultimately more just.
Wouldn't this be a non-issue if we had any faith in our real justice system?
But we don't.
Absolutely.
Hey, isn't that really the issue? Is that our justice system sucks so much that we don't have any...
But it particularly sucks when it's a very high-profile, very wealthy defendant.
Right.
And I'm assuming they would have unlimited resources.
Yes, he's wealthy.
They would.
Well,
they're not.
Look. You're creating 2 tiers. One of the guys who convicted of blowing up the U.S. embassies in Tanzania and Kenya, Wadi al-Hajj, is an American citizen. He was convicted for that. There's this poor sap from the Bay Area who's an American, who's a Taliban fighter. What are they going to do? Say,
but as American citizens
you're a Taliban fighter, but you're an American citizen, so you get a fair trial. But by the way, I'm a green card.
Well, you shouldn't get a fair trial.
I could be executed, and it doesn't even have to publicly
you get a fair trial, but he shouldn't get it in the context
it's an
of the court
outrage.
system.
It would create a 2-tier system.
Yes,
and
it would.
only today, 3 guys in Illinois are released after 15 years because the government got it wrong.
Well, please, but we're not
Imagine
talking
that was with due process.
We're not talking about a situation where
No.
we think
Don't
Osama
go
bin
there.
Laden didn't, but maybe it was somebody else who has a similar DNA or looks like Osama bin Laden. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
it's not mistaken identity here.
In fact, I wouldn't want to be on. I wouldn't want to be on that jury. I wouldn't want my children to be unsafe as a
Well,
mother.
then you're
I
saying,
wouldn't.
then why are you saying that he's going to walk?
Let me say this, Bill.
I'm not saying he's going to walk.
Why did you say he's going to walk?
You know, one of the things here, there is the potential for abuse. There's no question. Christopher's right about that. But these are not ordinary American citizens under ordinary circumstances. We are in a state of war. We need to take strong action. But I'll tell you, if they go over the line, Judicial Watch will be the first one there
But if it was,
to complain.
30 or 40 years
won't
ago,
know.
when people had
Larry,
faith,
I'd love to agree with you. You won't know. You won't know where they're held. You won't know their names. You won't know the charge. You won't know the evidence.
Well,
you won't know
we
a thing.
do need to
They
know
could be-
that,
They
and
could,
those
they could already.
regulations-
They could already have captured, tried, and executed someone with no one in this
I
country.
agree with
in
you,
theory, it could have happened
and that's
already.
over the line. We do need transparency.
Don't you
We
think?
need to know.
spoken like
know
a
what they're
true
doing.
American. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, Marilu, you know I love your book, Heal Thy Kids, and I always like to give it an extra plug just in case you want to give me sex for that later. But I also bring it up because I read in the paper yesterday that there's a school out here that had just made Harry Potter required reading, which I think
It's a great book. I mean, I think it should be required reading for adults.
What's great about it?
What's great about
great
it?
about
Have you not read them?
I haven't read
Oh,
them,
you
no.
have to read
we're
them.
adults.
No, it's great.
I mean, I heard it's
no,
about-
now, let me tell you something. It's
I heard
great
it's about
literature. I'm not
witchcraft
saying-
and
no,
Satan worship and whatever.
You know what? So is mythology. So is Aesop's fables and stuff like that. So is the Bible, for that matter. But I'm telling. Well, no, I mean about
Satan worship?
miracles. No, about miracles and stuff like that.
yeah, right. Like
But
the Bible has no weird stuff.
Yeah, really. I'm telling you, as a piece of literature, it's fabulous, and that it's turned on an entire generation to reading. I am all for it. And
Then why make it required?
Well, I think they should be required to read
They
it
have to read
earlier.
something.
They've
you know?
already read it. It's so typical of
No, if they've
parents
already read it-
pandering to their
See, no,
children.
kids
If they've already read
You
it,
must
forget
eat
it.
ice cream.
But I think if kids have already read it, then it shouldn't be
Then, as you said,
required.
it should be required for adults, but
Yeah.
not for school children.
Well, no. It should be required for school children if they haven't already
my
read it.
daughter is 8 and she's just undertaken to read and has finished 4 quite big novels.
Right.
And from now on, she now knows how to read for pleasure. I couldn't be happy. I mean,
Absolutely.
she should be Lady Rowling or the Duchess of Rowling or something.
Right,
daughter's
absolutely.
My daughter's 21 months old, and she read The Brothers
It's
Karamazov.
vulgar of schools to say, well, because something is popular, let us
Great,
just
but
make
it's
it
wonderful
compulsory.
literature, though, too. I think it's
deadening
very
to
well
do that.
written.
I'll tell you
It's a
what.
way of killing it
You
off.
know, there are a lot of conservatives that are against having kids read Harry Potter because of what I said,
Right,
the
right,
witchcraft
of
and the
course.
sorcery and the Satanism. But I'll tell you what, we'll cut a deal. If the kids read Christopher's book, No One Left to Lie To, if that's compulsory, we'll go with that.
And letters,
At 8?
Clinton and the
what were you
sorcerers and the
saying
witchcraft.
and the letters to
your children?
I'm saying my daughter's 21 months old and she read The Brothers Karamazov in the original Russian. And I just don't want people to think just because Christopher has a British accent that he's more intelligent than I am in my family. That's all. And I think the next show, he should be required to talk like the
I don't
rest of
think
the-
anyone
Could I
thought
just
that.
say, no, they shouldn't think
They
that.
do
or
wonder
not-
why you guys
they
dress
shouldn't
alike,
think
but
that.
nobody thought that.
They should not think that, or not for that reason. at any rate.
Yeah. You know, in my son's
close
school,
on that.
I was upset because my son is in 2nd grade. He started reading the book. He started to read at 5. He read the books, all of them, by 6. And now he bought me the first book, and he said, Mommy, I want you to share this with me. So I ended up reading them all because I love them so much. But in his class, they started reading them to the kids. And I said, don't rob kids of that. Let them read it themselves, because if you read it to them, then you're taking something away
But
from them.
Marilu,
It's much better.
are there some
So-
books that kids shouldn't read?
These are kids who
Yeah,
haven't
but
read.
not
These are
Harry
kids who
Potter.
haven't read Huck Finn yet.
That's what I'm saying. You
They
know?
haven't read.
But if they
Tom
inspire
Sawyer
them,
yet.
but you know what? It
Haven't
was
read
harder
Jane
to drag them to Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer before.
Inspire them.
Now they're more likely to read something like that. 5 years
Well, you
ago,
know,
it was
Lord
very
of the
difficult.
Rings is the next big movie.
Oh, please.
Maybe we should make that required reading. Maybe we should see what the box office is
It's
first.
too long.
Yeah, let's see what it does as a movie. We got to take a break. We'll be back. Okay, Marilu points out, Chris, your book is by far the smallest. But here's an extra plug for you guys. Please don't have sex with me, however. Thank you very much.